So in this video, I wanted to take a quick look at a pen called the Skilcraft B3 Aviator multifunction pen. And this is one that's been recommended to me many times, so I finally picked one up. They're pretty easy to find. You could buy it off Amazon and places like that. And they sell for about $20, $21, give or take. It's by Skilcraft, which makes their products in America, I think, at least partially by blind Americans, which is very cool. And this is the Aviator pen, which is actually a pen made for use in and around aircraft, which has a couple special requirements, which we'll get into. But it's popular because it is clearly a cool looking pen, very stealth looking, all metal on the small side, so it could fit into a pocket, or like a flight type pocket that would be on your upper arm in a flight suit, I guess. But yeah, very simple looking, all metal exterior, metal clip, says Skilcraft on it really nicely, and then just no other logos or anything like that. Very clean design. This little collar piece in the middle, and then to activate it, you just spin it. And as you spin, you go from red pen to pencil, mechanical pencil, and then black pen. So 3 functions. And to get in between, you just close it, or you just turn it to in between those points. And here there's a click, here there's a click, here there's a click, but in between you're at sort of medium points, and you just do it until it's not extended. There's a little bit of click action here, but it will only work if you are on the pencil setting. If you turn it and you're on the pen setting or in between, then you cannot click. You have to be careful to make sure the pencil is, there's no lead sticking out, otherwise it will not turn that well. But you can see here, you push it, but nothing clicks or stays like that. Back to the point about the it being used for aircraft, it has a requirement that it meets called an FOD, a foreign object damage requirement. It's basically when you're using parts around the airplane, you have to adhere to some standards around foreign object debris and foreign object damage. I'm not an expert in the area, but basically you want to be using parts that will that are subject to these requirements. And if you Google FOD, and again, foreign object damage or foreign object debris, depending on the setting you're using, then the setting you want to learn about, then you could learn more. Back to the pen, we can see it does have an eraser. That's here. The eraser is refillable and removable. You can put the lead in here. So there's that. And then this screws in. And again, I'm not an expert on that FOD requirements, but the fact that this is screwed on and it's quite tight to it, and that the pen uses all rounded edges, I think that's kind of all part of that FOD, because you want to make something that is safe to be used around jet engines. And then it is refillable. So to open the pen up, you just have to pull it apart. And it uses this piece, which is just, I believe it's brass. It's silver colored, but it might be steel since it's not brass colored. But anyway, it's a slide-on kind of pressure fit, and this looks like it might be brass. Maybe that's steel too. It's hard to tell with this stuff. And I do not believe the manufacturer page gets into this, like what it's actually made out of. But it is a slide-on fit, and it's a pretty good fit. I don't think it'll really wear out over time, but you have to definitely pull it. And you can see the mechanism here, and it's just the same thing that you would find in a Uniball, the Premier, the Jetstream Premier. I believe the 3+1. I reviewed it in the past, but you can See it there, and you could turn it continuously in either direction. It doesn't stop at any point. Here's the pencil here, and then here are the two pen pieces. And those, if you give it a tug, you can see this is just a standard D1 refill. So if you ever wanted to switch this out, that's not a problem. And these just are a pressure fit inside that sleeve, which is almost certainly brass. Push it in, that's all there is to it. So as for the pen, it is definitely small and it's definitely skinny. These things, as I've said, are 1/2-inch markers, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, a little bit over 5 inches. And let's look at it next to, say, kind of standard pen, a good deal smaller, and you can see the diameter is a good deal less. So it is small, and while it's well made, it has this sort of matte finish, which is great, but it's a little bit slippery, especially when combined with the fact that it's not very thick. And also, it will pick up oil. You can see right there, if your hands aren't clean or if you touch your face and touch your pen, you're gonna get a little bit of oil on here, which I find bothersome just because to me it looks a little gross, but it's, it's just a fact of life. See what some other pens we'll put it next to. Here's like a good sized Lamy fountain pen. Probably not a correct comparison, just something on my desk. And then here's a pocket pen. This is a Kaweco. And if I post that Kaweco, you can see they're very similar in size. So it's kind of that pocket pen size, but again, the Kaweco is much wider diameter. So if you're looking for something to use with gloves, this is not ideal. Or if you have really big hands and you need something the wider diameter to write a lot, this is not great. It's really just for quickly jotting some notes down, as you're running through a checklist or kind of what have you. It uses a ballpoint ink, so it's very versatile as to what you're writing on and that sort of stuff. So build quality is really quite good. There's very little as far as like what's gonna break here and no real loose parts. Just feels like a solid pen, just one that is a little bit small. And again, I think it looks very cool with that stealth look to it. As far as writing goes, I would say the refills here are fine. I don't think anyone, uses a Skilcraft refill and thinks like, wow, this is the best refill made, but they're easy enough to switch out if you want a better D1 refill. So this is a Skilcraft B3. And this is in the black. It's a totally acceptable, totally fine ballpoint refill. The pens are in a 0.5 millimeter, which is a good size for a day-to-day ballpoint. Totally fine. Relatively smooth, no problems there. Pencil action works nicely, just click it a few times. And this is, again, the Skilcraft V3. So I definitely have used worse ballpoint refills than this, but it's not something like you would go and chase down extra Skilcraft refills. Anything will do in that capacity. So as far as the verdict goes, I think the Skilcraft B3 is really nicely made. I think it's very cool. I think it has a lot of appeal to that EDC crowd that really likes the stealth design, the black on black design, and it really likes something you could throw in a pocket really nicely. And it's super pocketable, not only from the size, but the fact that there's no pointy edges, I think is really good, because it's not gonna jab you in the leg or anything like that. If you're looking for a pen to keep in your breast pocket or again, an upper arm type pocket, I think it's ideal for that. Also, if you want to keep it in a smaller case, maybe a little backpack or something like that, or hiking, those sort of uses, I think is great for all of them. I really would recommend it for those. If you're trying to get a lot of writing done, I do not think this is the pen. The price is fine, $21, $22, a little bit pricey, but again, if you need something that's FOD registered or required, and that's required for work, then this is probably one of not a huge amount of pens, so you're gonna have to buy it because of that. Also, if you want something that's made in America, then probably is going to cost a little bit more, and this is a great option there. So, cool pen. Not really one that has a huge amount of appeal to me, because I haven't enjoyed the fact that it's a little bit small and a little bit slippery, but I could see why this smaller design makes a lot of sense for some people, especially people using it for a professional capacity. So that's it, the B3. Thanks for watching.